Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time where you are. I am Felicita Cantun, a Maya Yucatec from Belize, a promoter of our culture. Now I will talk about beliefs on Maya Yucatec folklore. The Mayas have preserved many aspects of their ancient culture, including their traditional clothing, folklore, family structure, language, dance, and included in there is the pervasive machismo culture. Maya men were taught to be strong and resilient, to not show emotions, to man up, never to feel afraid. Whenever a baby boy would be running and he would drop and he would cry, mother and father would say, no, 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 you don't cry, you're a boy. Boys don't cry. So this machismo thing is practiced from very small. Now, before there was history, there was storytelling. In the times when no electricity or modern technology was available in my community, we used to gather at nights or during our pastime, tell or to listen to stories which were passed by word of mouth for centuries among the Mayan. These were important experiences in their real life, and they were able to craft them into narratives. These stories were used as a method to teach ethics, values, and cultural norms and differences. These were the best of times. Some of these stories include Xtabay, Tata Duende, and many more. I will speak to you about Xtabay, what I learned from my ancestors, from the older folks. Now, Xtabay is known to be a beautiful, enchanting, and charming woman with long black hair who lures drunken men, especially drunken men, to follow her. And she uses her unlimited powers to seduce them. Different people give different versions of the Xtabay. One legend tells of two girls fighting over a boyfriend. That is one man and two women, the love triangle. We see it all the time in the movies, on TV, and unfortunately, in real life. One of the ladies, determined not to let anyone get into her way, gives the other girl a magic drink, a love potion that awakened her sexual appetite. So, showing no shame because of the drink she had, no shame, she would go into the arms of countless men. By and by, she fled into the forest and took the form of the Xtabay, who would lure men and sometimes kill them if they cannot satisfy her heightened sexual desires. Some describe her as having the feet of chicken, the legs of a chicken. This was related by a face-to-face to me by one who had this experience. I will change his name. I will name him as Pedro. This man, Pedro, from a nearby community, he was always bragging of not being afraid of anyone. He related that once he had a date with a young girl during a dance in honor of the patron saint of the community. So anxious to meet this girl, he went ahead of the time agreed. And remember, it was night time. And it was at the times when no electricity was in the community. So as he approached the place, he saw the form of a woman under a big bullet tree. So he did not wait for anything. He hastily went to meet her. And as soon as he reached where this beautiful woman was, instead of bidding her good night or how are you, first thing he did, Pedro, guess what? First thing he did, he shoved his hands under her skirt to feel her leg. But what he felt made him feel scared. He felt bones, no flesh. And the girl grabbed him on the neck and started choking him. So he was not unprepared, he was prepared. He took out his deadly, long and double-edged dagger and stabbed her several times, and he managed to escape. The following morning, feeling a little bit ashamed, he told his brother. He related to his big brother what happened to him the night before, and he asked him to accompany him to the place where the incident took to the place of the incident. So what they saw was his dagger stuck on an isote tree. This is a tree that bears bunches of lovely white flowers. And from that time on, Pedro no longer claims to be a macho man, and he advises young men to keep away from lonely, dark areas, to respect young women, and especially to keep away from these dark areas where they might meet the Xtabay. So from that time on, he shows respect to young women. So as I mentioned before, the story of the Xtabay is used to teach, to pass on values, to teach ethics to youth and to adults. When you come to Belize and you visit Pachamama, I hope you don't encounter the Xtabay. Tata Duende now. Tata Duende. Please click on Tata Duende is one of the most popular and well-known folklore to both characters, folklore characters to both young and old in the tradition of the Maya Yucatec. According to legend, these Tata Duendes are very, 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 very old. And they are considered to be nature caretakers. Tata Duende is acknowledged as the traditional guardian angel of all the animals and people of the forest. And it punishes avarice hunters that kill more game than they need. Game like deer, armadillo, different animals found in the forest which we, Maya Yucatec, use as food. Now again, just like the Llorona, sorry, like the Xtabay, there are different versions and variations of Tata Duende. Some describe him as a short man, more or less like 3 feet in height, wearing a big, large, distinctive hat. Some describe him as having feet backwards and would be upset when he sees you with your thumbs, since he's missing his own. He loves to ride horses and would braid their mane. And I personally have witnessed this one. I did not see the Tata Duende braiding the mane of one of our horses, but we had one horse that no one could get close to him except my father. He was the only one who would feed him, give him water, take him to the stable, take him outside. And one morning, when he visited the stable, we all of us saw his mane neatly braided. So I believe that is true. And also, it is said that he is recognized because of his distinct whistle. I remember, again, when no technology, no electricity, at night, my mother would be rocking in the hammock and telling us stories. And one night we heard a whistle at night. And we said, "You hear that? You heard that?" All of us who were there heard that whistle. But then my mother said, "That's the Tata Duende. But don't be afraid. We heard it very, very near. So that means he is far away." So his whistle is that if you hear the whistle near, he is far. And when you hear it far, he is near. Oh, and he loves cigars. Tata Duende loves cigars. So we would always, as an offering, we'd always leave tobacco cigars to him. This mischievous little spirit would love to play pranks. Like I said, he would braid the mane of the hair of the horses. So Tata Duende is known as a mischievous maker, also known for having a special interest in children, luring them deep in the woods. Therefore, the Tata Duende has been used to scare children into behaving well. The Maya Yucatec asked permission from Tata Duende before entering the forest and before entering hunts. And there is also a special ritual for offerings to the Tata Duende. So again, just like the Llorona is used in the Maya Yucatec culture to instill values, ethics in both youths and children, also the Tata Duende is used. There are times when mothers would say to their misbehaving boys or girls, if you continue behaving bad, the Tata Duende will take you away. So children would be obedient to parents, or they would tell the children, you see, it's dark. You should not be wandering on the streets. Make sure you're home. So children would make sure, even though we do not have curfews at that time, they would make sure that they're at home before night falls. So these stories, our stories, are not just stories to be told and to be heard. They are stories that are used to instill. They were stories passed by word of mouth and used to teach ethics, values. Thank you very much.